Hey guys, it is your girl lalaG here with the absolute most, where we focus on fashion, pop culture, current events, and a little bit of lifestyle mixed in. So let's get to it. This is when you do your little table dance when you're like at the club and you're like, and you're feeling the music, like, oh, 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 Alright, today we're going to give you some pop culture realness. So, life is opening back up, the world's opening back up, and my favorite thing to do on Sundays is movies. Now, granted, this is not the first movie that I've seen in theaters. Oh, wait. Is it? Maybe it is. This is the first movie I have seen in theaters since February 2020, and of course it had to be the most cheesiest type of movie out there, F9, the Furious Fast something whatever saga. I don't know, but apparently we're on the ninth one, and I had to do some research, and we are on the ninth one, right? Yes, we are on the ninth one. Warning, there is going to be spoilers in here, so if you don't want to know what happens in the Fast and the Furious, you can stop watching here, but still, make sure you like this video. Like and subscribe. You can get updates on fashion, movies, everything in between. And so, the absolute most, subscribe. Thanks. Alright, we're going to start off with a flashback. 1989, we see Daddy Toretto, driving at a racetrack. Apparently he's a professional driver. They got fans cheering, and then so he goes into the pit, and you got your brother Dom, whatever his name is. Oh, his nickname is Dom. Dom's there, but like, you know what, Dad, you need to watch out for this, and this. And then apparently, after 9 movies, you finally found out that Dom and Mia, which is Dom's sister, have a brother. They have a brother. These movies are based on family is everything, and let y'all finally tell me now y'all got a brother? I don't understand that. So the brother, whose name I can't remember, but I'm gonna look it up in the next segment, looks it up, or looks under the hood, says, Dad, it's okay. Dad gets back on the track, and there's another competitor that's on the run behind Daddy Toretto. And so Daddy Toretto does a little maneuver, and the opponent gets pissed. And he's like, I'm gonna mess this Negro up. And so the opponent hits Daddy Toretto, and car starts flipping, busts into flame. And it's like, no! And then it cuts to modern day Dom and Letty. Alright, if y'all see me kind of looking over the side here, because I got notes. I made notes for you people. Alright, so we go back to modern times. And Dominic and Letty, they're chilling in the woods in the cabin, just hanging out. And they got the little son, what's the little boy? Little Brian. That's right, they named him Little Brian after Brian, who, yeah, you'll see at the end what I mean by Little Brian. So they named him after the homie Brian because, that was Paul Walker's character, but, rest in peace to the homie Paul Walker. Anywho, so this car pulls up, and these fools is, ready. Dom gets the shotgun, Letty's ready, and then little Brian, he's like, alright, whatever we taught you, and this fool hides in a little thing, and be all prepared. But it's the homies from the last 17 Fast and Furious movies. It is Roman, it is Taj, and it's Ramsey. So they pull up and like, you know what? Mr. Nobody is missing. Y'all remember Mr. Nobody. He always comes with these, these missions that they need to go on. I mean, this is more than Mission Impossible. This is mission what the fuck. That's what kind of missions these movies are at this point, because when I get to the most unbelievable parts, you'll be like, what? So at first, Dom and Letty are like, no, we're not gonna do it, because, after Brian and Mia, they decided not to, live that lifestyle. But Letty came back and was like, you know what? I'm finna go. I didn't promise to stop this lifestyle. You might have, but I didn't. So Letty's like, I'm out. So next day, they're all getting ready to load a plane, and here comes a Charger. Pulls up, and it's Dominic, or Dom. He's ready to go on this mission too. So before he gets on this plane, Dominic reviews this movie, or this footage that Mr. Nobody had sent before the plane went down, and this recovery mission about to go on, and he sees this cross that he was like, man, this cross looks familiar. And he realizes from this postcard that he got a while back, and he's like, connection. But, we'll get into that a little later on that a bit. Alright, so they go down to Mexico, where the plane and Mr. Nobody was last seen. And the city was called Montequinto. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'm probably sure they didn't say it right in this movie either. But anywho, and it's like in the middle of the jungle. But in the middle of the jungle, they have all the cars and the weapons. I don't know. They had a new Charger that, it was probably a souped up. It didn't look like a Charger you see on the street. It just looked like a combination of old Charger and new Charger. I don't know what they be doing. But it looked like a Charger type car. Then they had a Hummer, which, what's that Tyrese dude was doing? Roman was driving, and then Ramsey and Taj was in the Jeep. Everything souped up. They got and Letty is on a motorcycle. So I'm just like, how y'all don't get all this to the jungle? But you know what? It's the Fast and Furious, and that's what they do in these movies. And so they find the wreckage, and it's something that Mr. Nobody had that people were looking for, which is why they crashed the plane. Also something else, but we'll get to that later. And so the smart Ramsey, was like, opens it up, and it's like a half shape of this item. It's like a half of a ball. I don't know the best way to explain it, but it's something. And there's another piece that they are trying to find. But that's more into that. Sorry, because sometimes you got to bring up what hasn't happened, and, so you can better explain it. So they get that, and then here comes people out the woodworks like shooting up everybody. All right, Ramsey was like, there's a bridge up in front. We can make it. So after a lot of shooting, Tyrese, Roman almost gets killed, but Roman gets in the Jeep with Taj and Ramsey, and Ramsey's like, there's a bridge. They get to the bridge, and it's like this raggedy ass bridge that looks like it's about to fall apart the second you jump on it. So these fools in a Jeep drive across this rickety ass bridge, and the bridge is like collapsing in the background after this. The bridge. But luckily, through the modern science technology in the jungles of Mexico, they make it onto the other side of this bridge. And so Dom and Letty, they are, trying to race to get to the same bridge that's not there anymore. And lots of shooting. And lo and behold, guess who shows up? Dom's brother. And he's like trying to shoot and get what Dom and Letty have in their possession. So Jacob, the brother, grabs the device that, that was in the plane that Mr. Nobody had. And then this, out of nowhere, some plane comes and picks him up, and it has magnets at the bottom, and they just whoop him on up in the car, and they fly on off. And then, so Roman and the arrest is on the other side of the bridge. Dom and Letty is on this one other side of the bridge. I don't know where, you have to see this movie for this scene here, because somehow they not boomerang, but they slingshot themselves from one side where there's no bridge. There might have been some rope or something. I don't know how it was going to handle that car. But they slingshotted themselves all the way to the other side to where Roman Ramsey and Taj is. And I still don't know how that scene worked because them niggas was still alive. And I might go see it again just for that. Letty, once they all get back together again, Letty then lets the team realize that Jacob is Dom's brother. And they're all like, what the fuck, man? You waited to the 9th movie to let us know? Like, I don't understand. We had to upgrade to Coronas because, that's what they drink in the Fast and Furious movies. So, you know what? Corona, if you'd like to sponsor me, I'd be grateful. But, here we go. All right. So we do another flashback, and it's flashback. So the guy who, I think his name is Linder, who beat Dom's dad, who made him crash, comes as like harassing Dominic, and was like, so Dominic, being the big meathead he is, beats the guy to the pulp, and unfortunately Dominic has to go to jail for his crime. So while he's in jail, he meets, let me see, what's those two guys' name? Leo and Santos, which, they was in some of them other Fast and the Furious movies before. So that's how he met them, that's how he knows them. And, he kind of helps helping out each other with the cars, working the cars in prison. And that's when they were like, something was broken and that'll make the car explode. And that's what Dom puts together in his meathead, says, my brother Jacob rigged this. And so he was like, wow, Dom is out. Dom finally gets out. Jacob's in the big life. They still doing races. They always doing races. They still going to continue to do races till the day they die. So they doing races. And Dom calls up to Jacob. He is like, you know what? If you win, you could come home. But if you don't win, you got to get the hell out of town. And you can never come back to the family. All right. So they start racing. So Dom got, I forget the name of the car, but I ain't even had a sip yet. So Dom gets the car and he's got the old school car that he always drive. And Jacob's got a Mustang, so it's 1989. So you know what kind of Mustangs those are. Alright, so they're racing, and they love the nosh stuff, and they press the button. Jacob presses it too early, and then Dom presses his, and then bam, Jacob loses, and Jacob just keeps on going and never comes back, and you are not seen until Mexico. It's a lot, I know. This movie, man, we haven't got to the wild shit yet. Alright, so Jacob meets with his partner. The partner's name is Otto. Some forgettable character. I don't know if I can even find the picture. But anyway, so they get back to their lair, and lo and behold, they got Cypher. And Cypher is from the other movies played by Charlize Theron. And she's there, and she's like, oh, I know about your brother and how you think you gonna beat your brother, but we all know who the smarter one is, and you're just in his shadow. She just like taunting him, and she was like, you know what? I'm more than happy to work for you and help you beat Dominic. And Jacob's like, no, I got this. I don't need your help, lady. And she's like in this glass cage, just taunting niggas. I love it. And now she got this bowl cut. Them other movies she had like the dreads or the braids. Now she got this bowl cut. Like they just put the bowl and just cut all around it. I mean, it probably is weird, but, I digress. She's in a cage. Cypher then reveals that the other half of the device that's like a spear is an ember. So, we're about to do Fast and Furious in Edinburgh! What? Alright, so everybody goes back to the hideout. It was a hideout that Mr. Nobody knew back in the, had back in the day. So they all travel to the hideouts. Hideout. And Dom is like, oh man, this is all my fault. And so guess who shows up? Mia, the sister that's married to Brian. She's like, Jacob's my brother. I have to be here, to help you bring him down. Because, the life he living, and it ain't best for him. I mean, those are not the exact words that were said, but something like that. Alright, so Ramsey then describes what this object is, the spear, and it's called Project Ares. And once you launch this into space, it can control anything weapons-wise, anything by the government. So once Jacob has this in his hands, then it's like, oh no, he can control anything. But there is a key, and you have to have the key to make this device work, but no one knows where the key is. So after doing some research and doing their investigative skills, they realized there were more than one set of handprints on the device or around the the accident other than Mr. Nobody's. It's none other than the homie Han, who was presumed dead in one of those other movies by Deckard Shaw, and you're like, oh no, something is going on. So Don starts putting two and two together and realizes that postcard from Mexico was sent on the same day that Han died, and the postmark is in Japan. So Letty and Mia said, all right, we're finna go have some Japanese food and find the homie Han. So Dom goes back home. Man, there's a lot of damn traveling in this movie. So Dom goes back home and he goes find Buddy, which worked on the same team as Dom's dad, and was like, what about Jacob? And he was like, I let Jacob come in, after you kicked him out the family, and then a year later he kind of disappeared, and he was like, don't come look for me and all this stuff. But Buddy had a little information. Buddy said, you know what? He's going to Edinburgh. And I was like, damn, you just drop a dime on your homie like that? But you know what? It's the movies. I guess Buddy didn't want no smoke, so he dropped a dime on Jacob. Alright, so Mia and Letty are in Tokyo. They got their bowl of, I guess it's pho, but that's not Japanese. I don't know. But it was a soup-based product. And they're just eating and they're drinking beers in the middle of like an alley or something. And then, I can't remember who it was. Let me look at my notes. Who looks up? I don't know. So one of the broads look up and like, oh, there's a Mexican flag, because Han always kind of said Mexico, how Tokyo is his Mexico in terms of, his where bandits, the bad guys, retreat. So they, being the nosy broads that they are, they go in and they're like, hi. And then this Asian girl, whose name is Ellie, comes out and she's like, duck. And then action ensues. And there's a lot of ass kicking and pew, 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 going on. And just, everybody was kung fu fighting. And, just going from there. And then, like, a couple of guys, they get busted out the window and they're trying to go back in. And all of a sudden, it's like, pew, 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 pew. Han is back, and nigga was never dated. Alright, next part is not gonna make any sense, but it will in the long run. So, Roman and Taj, they go, where did they go? They find Sean, Eddie Hu, and Twinkie. They was in the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, and they need some assistance, for Dom. So they not in the wilderness, but they over there testing cars and putting rockets on cars, and it is just one of the most stupidest scenes, but it makes a purpose in the long run. And so they testing this car, and it's all like, yes, the car, we've never had a car that's not exploding out here. And then 5 seconds later, the car explodes. I'm like, oh shit, back to the drawing board. This scene will come back in later, I promise. Because you're like, what the hell does this have to do anything? I mean, me, the ordinary viewer, kind of was like, oh, I see what y'all doing. Because I knew it was going to happen. But, hold on, just remember, car, rocket ships. Yeah, you get it. Alright, I want to backtrack because I did make a mistake. Buddy did not tell Dom he was going to London or to Edinburgh. He told him he's going to London. Alright, this is why I say that. So, Dom, I don't know how, goes to London and he ends up finding Queenie, who is Deckard. Is it Deckard Shaw? Wait, Deckard Shaw's from that other movie. Whatever. The British guy from the other movie that's the mom is played by Helen Mirren. Queenie, she just done robbed the place and got some jewelry, and then she about to steal somebody's car and tells Dom you know what to get in. So they having a conversation because you know she's a criminal and all this stuff. And that necklace was nice. When I tell you, nice. And so, and so Queenie is like, you know, oh, I've heard of some things going down here in London. And then she takes him to a party. And there's girls. It's like the British version of Fast and the Furious. There's cars. There's girls. There's like, you know, partying. You know how they do over here. But it's, I mean, you know how to do here. And the same thing over there. Just not as many minority women in that. It was looking pretty palm colorish in that party scene. So then Otto comes in. He's like, oh, this is what you like. I mean, not with that accent, because I apparently can't do accents. And he's like, so come on in. And so Jacob is there. His brother, Jacob. So Jacob and Dom exchange words, and Jacob's like, you know what? Go. Hey, don't let the doorknob split you with the good. Wait. Shit! Don't let the doorknob hit you with the good Lord split you. And Dom's like, I'm not going anywhere or whatever. And so then Otto's like, yo, this is an embassy. We can do what we want and I can arrest you. And so all these police officers come in like, all right, Dom, we gotta get you out of here. And so Dom is riding in the paddy wagon, and lo and behold, he knows these people. It's all bitches, and the main bitch is Cardi B. I don't know her name in this, but it's Cardi B. Bacales was in the Fast and Furious for only like less than a minute, but Bacales was in this film, and I was like, who is? I mean, we got Helen Mirren and Cardi B. How lucky are we? All right, so the rest of the homies come to London. You know, they figure out, all right, this is when it's finna go down. Jacob and Otto got to get the second part of the device. They figured out where the second part of the device is, and they get it. But they notice something is going haywire with all the electrical systems. They have created this big, huge magnet truck to where every time it turns on, it just basically everything magnetic just hits it. And it's just like, what the hell is going on? So basically, yeah. So then from there, Dominic is on the trail of Jacob. And he's like, how is he going to get out of here? Jacob is like, the line has like the little thing and it's like, and it shoots the line to the next building, whatever. He is ziplining through London with the device. Zip lining through London. Nobody else is noticing this except for Dom. Lots of fighting ensues, including to the point where Dom's team takes over this magnetic truck. Dom and Jacob are fighting. I mean, just tearing up cars in the city like nobody, like a normal Fast and Furious movie, but now it's over in London. And they're just tearing up stuff. But Jacob does get away with a device. And so now we got to form a new plan by Team Toretto. Through the smartness of this team, I don't know how, since they have the magnetic truck, they catch up to Jacob and they are able to catch Jacob and take him in. So Otto goes back and is like, oh no, we're defeated. What are we going to do? And then Cyber's like, oh, I have a plan. And she offers a solution. Alright, the crew has Jacob in custody and they take him back to the hideout. And mind you, like I said previous, this is about to come into play. this hideout was by Mr. Nobody's hideout. So Letty and Mia come back with Han and the girl, what is her name? I can't remember. Elle, that's her name. Mia and Letty come back with Han and Elle, and they're like, "Oh no, I thought you were dead." Like, Roman was about to cry. Like, he probably was crying because, you know, Tyrese is extra like that. Like, he deserves an Oscar because that Negro is always extra in these movies. Anywho, he's like starts to cry, and you know, he was like, Mr. Nobody recruited me after Giselle's death because it was if Giselle could trust Han, then Mr. Nobody could trust Han. So that's why Han, you know, was working for Mr. Nobody. And let me go back. And after Deckard Shaw came in the picture, that's when they saw it was an opportunity to fake his own death. So, you know. And they showed like when from the previous Fast and Furious movie how it looked like Deckard Shaw was blowing up the car and killing Han, but it was actually set up by Mr. Nobody. Because you know why? These are Fast and Furious movies and shit like that happens, and whoever you think is dead. If they bring back Brian, I'm gonna stop watching these damn movies, but I digress. Come to find out that Elle's parents worked on Project Ares, and she is actually the key to make the device work. Like, because it was both of their DNA if it would bring, you know, would activate the object. But since she's a combination of both their DNAs, there was like some backstory how she was killed, and that's how Han is taking care of Elle. Since she's a combination of their DNA, she can open up. So she is the key to Project Ares. Lo and behold, Otto and his goons come in and be like, pew, pew, pew. Well, not yet. They're like, pew, pew, pew. And they're like, all right, we're finna take our man Jacob, and we're gonna take Elle too, because, you know, we know she the key. Duh. And then they were like, how did you find us? Well, guess who used to be an agent of Mr. Nobody? Jacob. He went rogue, and you know what? Here we are today. And that's why he knew about the hideout. That's what Otto knew about the hideout. If we were to get caught, here we were. So Jacob takes Elle and the second piece of the Ares and be like, we're out. And so lots of fighting ensue. And then most of the team gets away, but Dom's like, I'm gonna stay behind. And Lenny's like, no! And Dom's like, I love you. Okay, maybe he didn't say that, but whatever. And he goes down, he's fighting, just like, left, right. So Dom gets the idea to pull this chain and make all of the base or the whatever this thing, they're like in a, I don't even know what to call it. Just make it collapse. And because when somebody fell, like it goes, ooh, and you don't know where people are going. So when Dom makes it collapse, of course, it's water underneath. You're like, well, I'll be damned. You thought you was killing everybody and yourself, but no, there's water underneath because, you know, Dom can't die just yet. And then Letty comes in and saves the day. I should also add, this is the part where Jacob lets Dom know that their dad was in financial trouble and he was going to throw the race, which is why Jacob messed with whatever in the hood, but he didn't realize how bad it was going to mess it up and that his dad would die. And Dominic kind of was like, and then in flashbacks, he was like, he remembered his dad talking about money issues, but, you know, didn't put it on Dom, but, you know, he trusted Jacob for that instead and didn't let Dom in on the secrets. So at this point, Otto launches the rocket that has to go to the satellite to make a satellite so, you know, we can start controlling everything. So then that's when they activate Project Ares and they force Ellie to use her DNA and things start going bananas. So here's the part where the homies from the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift come back in. These fools come up with a plan that they're going to put a car on top of a plane and launch it into space, the car into space. So it is the two guys, the white guy and the Asian guy, whose names I can't remember, are doing this airplane, and they get it close enough where they have to go a little bit higher, because at that point they have to push the car with the rockets on them. They have to, so it can go up into space. So they have to go up just a little bit higher than normal planes do. And these two niggas, Taj and Roman, are in space wearing old school diving suits with the yellow and the plastic. I shit you not. So more fighting ensues on the ground, and of course they have the truck with the magnets, and so it's a lot of magnets going on, and cars crashing into other cars, and they're trying to slow down this truck. And it comes to realize that Otto has now betrayed Jacob and is teaming up with Cypher and is now betraying Jacob. And Jacob's like, oh shit! So man, they trying to kill Jacob. And then Mia is like a softie, and is like, you know what you gotta do. So they're kind of like helping protect Jacob and help Jacob get away. And Jacob gets into the car that's attached to this magnet, and they release the car magnet, and Jacob drives off into the sunset or whatever, or away from the fighting and the Cypher and all this stuff. So you got these two Negroes in space. So they're in space, and everything's going well, except to then they're trying to get to the satellite to get knock out the satellite, but their car craps out on them. But somehow they rig it to where the car then crashes into the satellite and destroys this satellite. And they are still alive. These two Negroes is in a car that is wearing diving suits from the 50s are still alive in space. I don't know. Alright, Cypher's pissed, and she's like, alright, I'm gonna kill these fools. Like, I'm gonna do this. So it looks like she's in this jet, and it's like, and she looks like she's piloting this jet, and she starts shooting on Dom and him, and all these missiles and stuff. But somehow Dom kind of does his Dom magic, and it blows up Otto, and she's like, oh shit. And so it comes to find out she has a drone, like a drone plane, and she was in the lab just like, and like she played a damn video game. And she's like, oh, rats, next time. Okay, maybe she didn't say it like that, but it was how it's gonna end. It was like, Emmett, foiled again. Alright, after the Cypher leaves, she's like defeating him, which makes it, there's about to be a 10. Alright, so you got two Negroes in space who are just floating around, and they get to the space station, and they're like, these white guys are like, Houston? What the hell is going on here? And these Negroes are floating past in space. I kid you not. They are floating past. And they get pulled into the space station, and they have to stay up there. And they don't show this, they kind of, imply this. They have to stay up there until somebody can rescue them. And nobody questions this. Like, you would think this would be on national news if there are two black men that went into space without the help of NASA or Jeff Bezos or Richard Branson. What is going on here? So at the end of the movie, Jacob and Dom, they bury the hatch because, family is everywhere. And so Jacob drives off to live another day, to be in Fast 10 where they all come together and they fight against somebody else new. I don't know. And then they all go back to the house and they're, cooking up on the grill. And they're like, oh, we're waiting on somebody. And then this little blue car pulls up, implying that Brian still comes to dinners, but of course they didn't show his face or anything. And then the movie ends. So, on the credits, they show Deckard Shaw is just like, it's just like boom, boom, like hitting his bag, and then you hear like the bag moan, and he's got somebody in the bag, and he zips down the bag, and then somebody comes knocking at the door, and so he zips the guy back up, opens the door, and it's Han, and he looks pissed, and then the movie closes right there. So that is my movie review of Fast and the Furious. Oh God, that movie was one hell of a ride. Like, you're just like, this shit is these Negroes are in space! Space, I tell you! I mean, it's Fast and the Furious. Like, it's Mission Impossible movies are more believable than Fast and Furious. At this point, I'm just going to see these movies just to see what they gonna do next and how they gonna do it, and plus the bomb-ass soundtracks. I'm your girl, lalaG. This is the absolute most. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that button down below so you can get a notice when every video comes out every Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I'm going to start doing more reviews. I'm going to do Zola next. And of course, I'm going to do Black Widow. So let me know if there's anything else you would like movie reviews down below. I am more than happy to do them for you. Of course, my socials will be throughout this film. Hit me up on those if there's something else, like I said, you want to see fashion-wise, pop culture-wise, anything-wise, I'm willing to do it, as you know. So I love you guys. You guys have a great evening, great night, great day, great whatever. Just make it great. I love you.